Greetings, this is Adrian here from Nexience Gaming, and I'm here with our player Ultima21, and this is the grand final of him in the Doseplay Pro Series Challenger Series on Thursday night, where he took out first place. So we're just going to go over the grand final games and just talk about his plays and whatnot. So, Pinder, what were your thoughts with your opponent's classes, and what made you start with Control Warrior?
So if I remember correctly, his classes were Hunter, Rogue, and Shaman.
Yep.
So the only bad matchup there was Shaman, so I thought Control Warrior was a definite pick for the first one.
Okay, were you worried about running into Shaman first off with Control Warrior, or?
I sort of was, but like I wouldn't expect him to pick Shaman first off.
Right. So at this point, from the Lepanons and the Worgen Infiltrator and stuff, you've made a call that it's Face Hunter, hence you're not attacking into what seems to be Explosive Trap, right?
Yeah, you can definitely pick apart the explosive early, and there's no rush to set off the trap, because the longer this game goes, the longer I'll win.
So I see just then you had a Death Spite and you've opted to play the second Armor Smith. Is that purely to gain a ton of health as opposed to clearing that board entirely?
Yep, basically. Okay. Clearing the board is good against Face Hunter, but when you get double Armor Smith, you take it.
Right. Yeah. So at this point, you're already in like what seems like a game-winning position, honestly, just by virtue of your health.
And he's sort of playing the matchup like he's trading way too much.
Yeah.
I think. But that's because he's being forced to by the monsters that have on board.
Right, and even that charge. The Hounds actually seemed questionable there as well, to be completely honest. Like, if he has Explosive Trap up, I don't understand why he's keeping up your 2-1 minions and stuff like that, for example. It seems a bit nonsensical.
But I'm not going to pop the Explosive until I feel like it.
Okay. So perhaps your opponent was assuming you were going to proc Explosive a lot sooner than you perhaps were going through this point, I guess.
Plus, I've just drawn insane this game, like, the Belcher rip into the Shield Maiden rip, like... Even though I already had the Shield Maiden, it just made the game's like over.
See, at this point here, before you played the Shield Maiden, do you still think it was not correct to proc the Explosive? I mean, how come you haven't popped it at this point?
I don't think there's any need. Like, I just keep getting creatures on board, and then I'll pop the Explosive when I get like a massive board to gain even more armor.
Yeah, the Quick Shock would have been a little bit annoying there, but still, you're in such a commanding position. There's not much to say, is there?
Yeah, it's really not. This game was like a total one-sided affair.
Right. I see you're considering hitting the face there with the Death Spite, actually, which is interesting.
But then I'm waiting till next turn so I get even more armor. Plus I have Gromash, so I can activate him if I wanted to. And even with the weapon, like, when you're on this much high health, it doesn't matter. People value the one charge on the weapon way too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And this game is just so one-sided, it's not even funny. You just saw earlier at the start. I think you started...
He's playing it too defensively. Like, as Face Hunter, you can't afford Face Hunter to get to the...
He's literally passing his turns, not dealing with your board. And he's just trying to put your things in Explosive Trap range, but you're dealing like too much armor for him to even get close to you. He drops, and your Sarah's just perfect here on this board, obviously. I mean, it's a 4-12. You just keep floating that advantage.
I probably should have attacked at this point, but like, it doesn't even matter what I do from this point. Like, when you're in this high health against Face Hunter, it's already over.
Yeah, especially Face Hunter, it's not as if he has high mains or anything to even remotely contest your board. I don't understand what he's doing with those bow charges, not even trying to at least deal with the board to some degree. Just keeps assuming you're going to proc the trap. Yeah, you're just not playing into it.
Yeah, I think this is where it's time to like go in.
That trap, yeah.
Probably should have played Gromash here before, in hindsight. But I think I wanted to play Boom after. That was probably why I didn't.
Yeah, actually Grom does seem slightly more correct. There's no way for him to deal with it, I don't think.
Like Owl is the only way, and it's not really dealing with it.
Yeah. And you're just putting minions on the board for the sake of it.
Like even if he hounds, like I have the Death Spite charge straight up for the hounds, it doesn't even matter.
He's just giving you the well played there, perhaps out of frustration a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be frustrated in his shoes.
So tell us a little bit about your opponent. Do you know anything about sides, or?
I've never actually played against him before, but he did 3-0 Decades, who's like one of the best players.
Which is really known, with a really interesting lineup at that.
Yep.
So I guess props to him, but he absolutely had his measure in game 1 there. Game 1, so let's chalk it up.
Yeah. That's an easy win for Control Warrior.
So your Control Warrior's down, so your other 2 decks in your lineup were what?
Druid and Zoo Warlock. So I was thinking, I don't want to play Druid. No, I actually do want to play Druid here, I think. I don't want to play Warlock into Hunter again. That's a bad matchup.
Right. Yep, so if you're not trying to play Warlock into Hunter, then yeah, I guess your only option is Druid at this point.
Yeah.
Which is what you end up doing in game 2?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. And surprise, surprise, you see the Shaman, which is somewhat
Shaman.
interesting.
I think Shaman has a good matchup against Druid.
Yeah, I can't even recall if you win this game, but with the opening 2 cards like that, it seems like you can't really lose.
I can't remember if I win or lose.
Yeah, I know you only dropped 1 game in the series, but at least, yeah, if we can't remember it, it'll be good to find out. So he's playing Crusher Shaman.
I think it was this one, because he just starts really aggressively.
Okay. Yeah, the turn 1 Cogmaster is always a worry. And to turn 2 Mech Warper and whatever else happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it's god awful. Oh, or that card.
This doesn't look good for...
No, and I'm
the
guessing
Druid.
you just pretty much keep it that, down right there.
But even after you keep it this, like, you're in a position. Because he's gonna slam Tinkertown. And that clean kills my... Or Shredder.
Or a Shredder, yep. Oh, okay. Or Fireguard Destroyer.
Oh, it would be nice if they hit for 7.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually could have been completely game-changing.
Yeah.
Because you would have killed the Annoytron, BGH that off, and long behold.
The game is in my favour, but
Yeah.
hit for a 5, which is a good stat against Druid as well. And now the game is in his favour. I think that Fireguard Destroyer stays alive the whole game.
It's probably what wins him the game, honestly, tempo-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, your Shade does nothing to that now.
Mm-hmm.
It just starts hitting you for like a 10, 15 damage over the course of the game.
Like, even Druid of the Claw is not good here.
Yeah, you need to Thorison so you can possibly Scenarius next turn.
Yep. And try and, like... I really needed removal this game, which I didn't draw.
You're at this point of the game where if his turn 5's good and not a Fel Reaver, but still good, you absolutely just lose.
Yeah. Oh, he can just summon any mech and then swing, and I'll be in a bad position.
Yeah, that's terrible for you. He just swings face with the weapon, kills Thorison for free.
Yep.
And that even puts the Shredder out of swipe range without hero power, that is, anyway. Which is terrible for you.
So my play here is like Azure Drake and pray for swipe, basically. Or like, Druid of the Claw. I'm like, Druid of the Claw hero power, actually, I need to clear the 5-1. Or I'll just lose to like a Crackle.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, you're actually pretty much dead. I actually think in this position, Druid of the Claw might not be so correct. I think you'd rather put
I
yourself...
think going for the Azure Drake might have been correct, just to like, there's a chance that you draw the swipe and win, rather than going for the Druid of the Claw and trying to survive.
Exactly right. I mean, yeah, Druid of the Claw, you don't lose the game, but you don't win the game either, if you know what I mean. Drake will put you in a position where if you do get the swipe, you innovate it out, you can actually clear his whole board, and your Shade most likely won't kill off, and then you're at 18 health and have, Board Presence and Scenarius next turn.
Yep.
So
I went for the staying alive play, which is probably incorrect, but like, I don't think I was winning this game. Like, it depends what I draw Azure Drake, obviously, but it doesn't look good. Maybe even, I don't know, about bringing out the BGH there just for tempo. Probably incorrect.
perhaps, but Fel Reaver's...
It might have been correct, actually, because then I follow up with Scenarius.
Oh, you would have drawn the swipe!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
And that's a perfect example of going for a winning play instead of a surviving play.
I mean, it's remote that you draw swipe, but yeah, look, if that play did pull off, you win the game instead of just surviving another turn.
Yep.
And
now
Doom Hammer is so awful for you.
Yeah, that was like the perfect answer to scenarios.
Oh, because you actually would have felt okay with the scenarios on there, because you think his
Yeah.
Shredder's inevitably going to go in.
Yep.
And then you left
And
this
then follows it
terrible
up with an Annoyatron to just rub it in.
Oh my
That's
goodness,
game.
that is disaster. I guess now is when you Drake and hope for a taunt or something. Maybe even end up with a swipe if you brick. Yeah, that just doesn't cut it.
Hmm.
So what are
I
we
think
innovating?
Druid has such a
okay.
terrible time with anything mech related
Mhm.
because they have so much health and they're so aggressive. It's not like Face Hunter where you can just fill them out with one swipe.
So now at this point, you must virtually know your day-to-day health with Doomhammer already, like a sure in 4. Let alone the deck playing
Yeah.
lava bursts and crackles and the rest of it.
Yeah, there's no way I survive this turn.
Yeah. I find it really interesting how these decks that rely on little combinations of cards, such as like kind of mecha archetypes and whatnot, they curve out really well in the early game a lot of the time, and then they mysteriously draw their burn spells when they're starting to run out of steam. It just perplexes me completely. Like, it always seems to happen against Mech Mage or this deck. You got your Mech Warpers into your Fel Reaps and everything else, and then when you're slowly starting to fight back for the board, yeah, I've got Crackle and Lava Bursts, and you're done for.
Yeah, it's like
Really amazing.
I've cleared his early board minions and like got him back control of the board. Oh, didn't play around those double fireballs. My mistake.
And at this point, you'd actually probably be relieved that such a potent deck is out of his lineup. Honestly.
Yeah, actually, that version of the, surprisingly enough, that version of Shaman isn't as scary as mid-range Shaman is because mid-range Shaman has like better cards in the deck like Hex and like Flame Tongue and all those, just like
Right.
advantage cards which will beat like decks like Warrior and Druid over the long run.
Because it's all about that board presence, right?
Yep. And Warrior has to waste like War Axe charges on like a Stone Claw totem and stuff. That's so awful. Just lose.
I see
And
that
it's-
you've kept Double Innovate and Ancient of Law. Do you care to explain, or is it just
Yeah,
going to happen?
Someone told me once that turn 2 Ancient of Law is a pretty good play. I think I'll believe them.
I think I tend to agree with that. I see you're pausing for a bit. Was there a bit of consideration for Coin Innovate Shredder?
Probably not. Like, Shredder's good, but it just dies to a single backstab and weapon, and that's not good enough. Like, even Ancient of Law is gonna die pretty easily, but maybe he has to sap it, like some fantasy world where he has to sap it and not just kill it.
Yeah, and at least Ancient of Law has netted you the 2 cards if it does eat a sap.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I guess when you're putting a 5/5 on the board turn 3, short of like Coin Eviscerate or some really remote combo, okay, even I guess like
I can
Backstab
just
as a
backstab
weapon,
Deadly.
yeah.
Or backstab Deadly, that'll do it as well.
But it will take like literally a 2-3 card combination at minimum to kill that off.
Yep.
And you've gained 2 cards from it, so
Yep. There was no other play there.
fair enough.
The Wraths are really good against Rogue as well, because they run a lot of 3 health creatures.
So he did end up having Backstab SI and had the weapon in place. It's kind of convenient, but I guess you're not too upset about that because now he's got 4 cards in hand.
Yep. And then the Wrath will take out the SI, and I'll be back in control, I think.
Yeah, you're in a pretty commanding position. I think you'd only be in a bit of strife if he plays a Shredder on curve here. Not necessarily in strife, but it's just not great for you.
Oh, it's fine. I think I just respond with my own Shredder.
Okay, so Teachers seems a little bit problematic too, because you can't
Yeah.
clean that. But then you see the Swipe as a supplementary follow-up, and you can eventually deal with it.
Yeah, so you just slam Shredder. Shredder will not trade amazing, but I guess it'll like put the teacher in 1 health.
I guess it's good sap food as well.
Oh yeah, I guess if he subbed it, it'd be pretty good for him. But then he can't answer. Then he has to answer the Druid of Claw too.
Exactly.
So
Just interesting. You can. Oh, that's interesting. He's dropped the deckhand. He tanks it with his weapon. I don't think I agree with that either.
I don't. I think deckhand's much more valuable than that.
And then he burns an Abyss on a 3/2.
Maybe he wants to keep his teacher value, but I don't agree with that either. Like, I think you just trade into the 3/2.
I feel like he's being way too reckless with his resources. He just busted a win condition and an Eviscerate on a Shredder. Just to keep the teacher on board. And like you said, how does he deal with Druid of the Claw now that he's like busted so many cards into that? I mean, I just don't think that's how you play Rogue properly.
Yeah, you need to be more Like, as trying to learn the deck now, you need to be way more conservative with your resources.
So, at this point, is he going to what, prep a Vis for 5? No! No follow-up. Well, you'd have to be feeling good at this point.
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, the game's heavily in my favour now.
And this is the turn that you finally took back initiative. Because
Mhm.
he still has to deal with a 4-2, and then next turn you literally go into an Agent of War, or Rat something, or something of that nature.
Yep.
But you just won back the game at this point. If you ever were losing, which I don't think you were.
Yeah. When he had a good swing turn with the SI.
Yeah.
After that. Then he had a good swing turn with the teacher.
So in all, he's drawn quite well to this point, honestly. Actually, drawn pretty well.
He's drawn well enough to keep up with turn 2 Ancient of War, so
Yeah.
it's good for him.
Okay, and we see a card. The second Abyss on a 4-2 as well. I understand wanting to preserve the Shredder, but and this is regardless of knowing both players' hand. I still don't think that's correct.
Yep. I think you need to value this way more highly than that.
So now you know both Eviscerates are gone. You're sitting kind of pretty. There's an SI gone. There's a backstab gone.
There's a lot of damage has been wasted, so I think instead of going for like keep it clear, you can just draw cards.
Like, yeah, you're not too worried. There's no deckhand oil shenanigans either.
Yep.
So he's burnt his deckhand too.
But then
he's oiled.
we-
Whoa. Oh, double
it's
oil.
double oiling.
That's
That's
a lot of damage. Yes. Oh my goodness. I feel like he'd have to take out Ancient of... Okay. He's gone face.
Face is the place.
So he's basically said, my opponent has 8 cards in hand and he can't deal with the Shredder. It's the only way I'm going to win the game. I still think that's terrible.
And this is the biggest misplay ever. I actually meant to click the 3
Oh,
damage.
why have you wrapped that for 1?
I meant to click the 3 damage, and I clicked 1 dash. That was like so terrible.
Did you not think to throw the Ancient of Law in?
That was so terrible.
I know you're not dead to a Vis, but you're dead to things like Deadly Poison SI. So this was literally a misclick.
Yeah, that was a terrible play. That was not the right play. The right play was either Wrath for 3, or kill it with the law.
Yeah.
So at this point I could die, and I do deserve to die for that misplay, but somehow he doesn't draw the damage.
But he's been so reckless with this guy. Like, I mean, he's drawn 2 Abyss this game. If he didn't burn one on, like, utter shit.
Yep.
I mean,
That 4-2, like...
quite literally, if he preserved an Abyss this game, he actually just had lethal on board.
Yep. Even without that, like, I'm so low now, and doing as Druid does, top deck combo for lethal.
Yeah, you just don't deserve to win that game ever.
No,
So,
absolutely not.
oh, wow. Okay.
It's just Druid doing Druid things.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, yeah, you need to be a bit more careful with what you click in future, I guess.
Definitely.
So at this point you're up 2-1 in a best of 5 grand final of the Thursday night Pro Challenger series for Doseplay. You'd be feeling really good. So your last deck at this point is
Zoo.
Zoo, yep. And you know he
And
still has
actually, I was feeling the opposite of good, because I know he has Face Hunter and Rogue left to my Zoo, and those are like my 2 worst matchups, I would say, as Zoo.
I'm really surprised to not see him queue up Face Hunter before taking
I
him
am
to game 5.
also, like, I guess he wants to get the Rogue win out of the way. He was just playing it, but like the Face Hunter and Zoo matchup is so one-sided, I think, most of the time.
So he's kept 2 cards in coin, and you'd be really concerned at this point this is going to game 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely considering. There's a choice to play around backstab or not. I think I didn't play around it. I think I said I have to win by being more aggressive.
As you say that, the Voidwalker
And
comes down.
Voidwalker comes down. I guess that's a safe play.
Yeah. Well, that
He probably
makes your
did
play
that.
1,000 times better.
Yep.
Drawing into a 1-drop. I see you're a little bit hesitant. Do you remember your mindset at all behind
I was
turn
thinking Blade Flurry is a real thing still,
2?
so I was thinking I should play the Direwolf instead. And then that would bait out the backstab as well.
Right. And I guess if he does have backstab SI, he can't clear your entire board.
Yep. You just coin SI as well, that's fine.
And even right now, you look to be in a not good position, honestly.
Yeah.
So, how come you chose to tap over playing the 2-1 drops?
Because I don't think another taunt does anything there.
Mm-hmm.
Just dies for free.
It's consistent with your line of play about being worried about Blade Flurry to an extent, right?
Yep.
And at this point, you'd be praying that he doesn't have deadly poison.
Yeah.
But alas, the backstab's there too.
The one that he kept from starting.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I guess that goes without saying.
Yeah, just snap implosion, but this is just so weak to Fan of Knives. This is why the matchup is awful. Rogue has every answer for every play.
Yeah, quite literally.
And by some miracle, this guy doesn't have the Fan of Knives, so I'm in a good spot.
It's amazing to think that he doesn't have a turn 4 play. Between like the Shredders and Violet Teachers and stuff, it's a little bit unfortunate actually.
Even a 3-drop would have been fine for him.
Okay. So, on curve, the kind of, what would be the nicest play, without caring about your opponent's stuff, would be juggling in-game boss, right?
Yeah. I think it's time that, like, even if he has the Blade Flurry, you just have to go in.
Yeah. I guess this particular term, with your opponent on 5 mana, dictates the entire game.
Yep.
We see this peculiar deckhand again. Is he perhaps going to oil and Blade Flurry?
Yeah, I think so. This is really bad for me. But it's bad because I take a lot of damage, but the way he Blade Flurries...
Oh, and he burns a deadly poison. For no particular
He sort of
reason.
did that wrong. I think he should have attacked the 2/4 and then Blade Flurry, because then I would have nothing left on board without the dead.
And there was an actual chance that you juggled him straight down too.
Yeah. Because now, if he had done it the other way, I wouldn't be able to clear the 5/1 without like Doomguard into it or something.
So a sequencing error, quite literally, perhaps came close to costing him the game at this point. Because how do you deal with a Doomguard?
Yep.
Sapping it doesn't do anything.
Mhm. This is just praying at this point that he doesn't draw any more damage.
Yeah.
And he top deck Tinkers.
And at that point,
Which, lucky the Void Walker takes 1 hit, otherwise I would have just been dead instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't tap here, so...
Yep. Yeah,
Just
because you'd be
playing
dead to SI. So you're just praying there's no Abyss.
Yep.
Oh, and you see the prep, and you think, did he
Prep
really draw sprint?
into... Sprint.
That is a nightmare.
Yes, so like, there's such a high chance that he draws like anything, any damage is almost enough to kill me.
Well played, so perhaps he has it. Hits your face, and he doesn't have it. So now you're at the juncture where you think, holy crap, my opponent is that close to killing me.
Yeah, there's 2 things here, like, I'm dead next turn no matter what, and I haven't drawn any Abusive, any PO, or any Argus, and I had the second Doomguard, so if I tap into any of those, it's lethal.
So giving you, what, a really high probability of tapping into lethal.
I think I have like 18 cards.
This is one of those situations where you chase the game and try to win the game rather than just survive, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see.
Like if you tap, you're 100% dead. If you don't tap, you're like 99% dead.
Yep.
So like.
So you might as well try win the game instead of chancing.
Just
the
go for the win.
And then we see
the Argus.
You've got Argus to juggle him in the face for 1. Make your Doomguard 6/4.
That's exactly lethal.
That is exactly lethal. That's fantastically played on its merits, just on the probability of you drawing some damage, because you had literally almost half your deck to be doing buffs.
Yep. And that was the last game of the series.
Yeah, so that concludes the series. I mean, do you have any closing thoughts about that in general, or how do you think that series went?
So with the lineup, I definitely think that there needs to be some changes to the lineup. Right. I think I would take out Zoo. I think it has too many weak matchups in the meta at the moment. and I think Rogue should be played. I think Rogue is really strong at the moment.
So your
But
lineup
the-
would consist of Rogue, Druid, and Control Warrior.
Yep.
Okay. I guess. And how did you feel about opponents throwing curveballs in? I guess playing things like the Shaman list and things like that.
Definitely, if people expect the standard lists, you can definitely shake things up by playing those. And like, I guess with the coming new set, like a lot of deck lists are going to change, and a lot of new decks are going to pop up. So the meta's about to get shaken up a bit.
Right. Yeah. And I guess the expansion is something that's looming close by, so it's going to throw a complete spanner in the works.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I mean, I guess that series could have taken a turn for the worst with your misclick on Wrath, but
Yeah.
I guess you make up
Sometimes.
for it with some exceptional play with your thought into the percentage of lethal with tapping with Warlock on that last turn. I mean, they're the kind of plays that you need to make in high pressure situations. I mean, this is just a local tournament, but I mean, I guess they're the kind of plays that you need to make on the big stage in these kind of international tournaments. They're the kind of things that will set players apart. I mean, I remember Rayner doing this at a competition much earlier in the year where he was in a position where, not quite as do or die as you, but if he tapped, like, he was like literally dead. Like, it was actually kind of a more dire situation. But if he didn't win that turn regardless, he probably could have lived. But he was saying in the interview that he did the probability of drawing stuff, and he was running a deck with POs and Leroy Jenkins and stuff like that, and he tapped into the Leroy after thinking about it for a minute straight. It's just really well thought out. And I guess that's when the numbers element comes into it, and you start doing your calculations on the probability of drawing next card. So, yeah, I guess they're the kind of plays that win you series and stuff. So,
Yeah, that was definitely good.
all right. So, yeah, is there anything else to add?
Ah, that was it.
All right, cool. So we'll wrap this video up, and just a reminder to check out Nexience.com.au, like, subscribe, do what you got to do, share the page. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook down below in the description of the video, and just show us some love if you like the video. But for now, we'll be out.